Hi, and welcome to the Dev channel. I was very kindly invited last night to an AI in law panel by David Blaney KC, and it was to discuss the adoption of AI tooling within the law industry. There were some very interesting discussions last night, and I thought it would be a good sort of set of topics to bring to the channel today with Harvey, and particularly, AI and risk management. It was a hot topic as lawyers. Harvey, what's your take on AI and risks?
So, I mean, a risk I'm seeing a lot at the moment is where generative AI tooling is falling into the bounds of shadow IT. So it's not being regulated by the company. Employees are misusing data, they're copying and pasting into, say, ChatGPT, and there's no regulation at that point on data privacy, data residency, and a whole host of other issues. So yeah, what sort of mitigations did you discuss yesterday?
That's a good question. So a lot of the law firms kind of starting from scratch, really. They've obviously been pressured by the lawyers within those firms to adopt these tools, but they're very obviously don't want to be taken to court over something like this. So they're setting up teams very similar to what the security kind of industry was doing as well, and applying sort of some best practices where they can. These teams have really been picked from individuals across the business, so you've got representation from both technical and operational side of the businesses, but they're really focusing on just picking the right tools and kind of putting the efficacy maybe to the side a bit of the training side of it, but they're also trying to manage the risks these tools are presenting in some shape or form.
So when you say best practice, I mean, obviously in other areas we've seen like ISO 27001 and how to implement that and teams set up around that and systems for that. But in AI, we're seeing now ISO 42001. Was that discussed at all yesterday?
Surprisingly not. I was kind of expecting it maybe to have been mentioned by at least some of the law firms, but they're really just trying to catch up, really. As an industry as a whole, they're quite lethargic in the adoption of new technologies into their business processes, and AI has kind of just whitewashed them. It's fast, it's moving, it's changing. Every 3 months, it's very different to what it was 3 months ago. And the adoption of these tools when they first started, you kind of got reliable summarization and that sort of thing. But now they're getting much better at thought analysis and that sort of thing. So these tools are getting more and more powerful as days pass, literally. There's no sort of consideration or maturity yet in their management of these, like an ISO 42001 consideration. So yeah, it was really quite surprising.
It'd be interesting to see how that's adopted over maybe even the next few months.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that the ISO 42001 standard really becoming center stage at these big organizations.
Oh, wow.
So this nicely led on the discussions last night about how are these tools helping in the law industry. And one of them was particularly about sort of low level work. So they're not yet happy to use these tools to submit documents to courts or sort of side of things, but they're very happy to use the summarizations, like I mentioned. From day one, the AI models have been great at summarizing things. And in the law industry, it's really good value for them to do summarization. A new large case starts, you get a document pack. It could be tens of thousands of PDFs and that sort of thing, and which are long, 500 pages, that sort of thing. And when you started a case like that, you would have needed quite a big team. And obviously, you would start with a bunch of very senior lawyers, but you'd also have interns, the people just starting off in the profession. And those guys and girls would then be put to work. And what would they be put to work on? It would be reading those documents. So you could have a large case. You could have 100, 150 bums on seats going through these document packs, which is great. It's great. It works and that sort of thing. But AI can do that, and it can do it quick. It can do it really quick. It's not something that is going to disappear overnight, because there's still concern about quality and the quality of the summarizations and that side of things. But it's very good, and I think there have been surveys done in the law industry comparing the AI models to to humans doing it. And actually, I think the quality on those AI models have been close, if not better, than the humans.
Do you think it will have an impact on, say, billing or how lawyers are going to charge?
I think billing is going to be a big question. I think that's across all industries. People perceive the introduction of technology as a cost saving. Oh, if you're going to get a computer to do that, it's going to be cheaper, isn't it? So last night, another hot topic was the application of these tools within law firms and how they're affecting lawyers that are sort of training coming up. You start off in law and you're assigned onto a case. Normally, there's the big lawyers at the top, and then you have the new trainee lawyers at the bottom of the pile. And a new case starts. You'll get a document pack. Could be 100,000 documents, something like that. And obviously, the first part of any sort of law case is to take those documents, read through them, summarize them, highlight the important bits, and pass them up the chain to whether or not they need to be considered for the case in question. And obviously, those tasks were assigned to the juniors of the teams to read through those documents. And now AI can basically do that for you. It can very reliably summarize documents. It can take quotes out of documents if need be, and then obviously raise it upstream to the appropriate resource. So, the question that were asked last night is, well, how are people going to get into the profession? How are they going to get trained and get experience if all these low-hanging jobs are being taken by AI?
That in itself, because we're seeing the same sort of thing in software engineering, right? We're seeing developers up and coming who are augmenting themselves with these AI tools, but are they gaining the skills required to sort of level up to get good software design and really build sustainable platforms? Still a bit of an unknown at the moment. It's still a bit up in the air.
That's a good one. So maybe a missing segment of what all industries are seeing is how to train new talent and bring new talent on board into these different projects, be it law, be it IT, be it anything. And how to train those people to get them to the skills that obviously you and I would have had by actually having done it. We've not had that opportunity taken away from us. So that's a very good, valid point there. So costs and billing, lawyers. I don't think anyone's interfaced with a lawyer and it's cost them less than probably £1,000 for probably what feels like 10 minutes of work. It's an industry that's based on hourly rates. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with family law, corporate law, anything. It's just done on an hourly rate. And one of the key things that people expect with technology is that you reduce costs. Where's that going, Harvey?
In the software engineering field, we're seeing a range of changes, from producing more code, which is causing more output as well. And there was an interesting study actually done in Denmark recently, which showed that there wasn't actually that much of a ripple when it came to the job market, salaries at this time. I mean, we're saying yet here, and it was a very small study. But then again, on the other hand, I have seen instances where UK businesses have already seen massive impact or even gone under because of the adoption of generative AI. And the one I've seen most at the moment is translation. LLMs are getting very good at translation.
I think as well you're hearing quite a lot from like the likes of press. Very frequently now you're seeing on the bottom of articles, this article was generated by AI or something like that. So it's kind of cutting out of all different shapes and sizes of industry. And law's going to be no different, is it? Well, Harvey, once again, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Sadly, I think that's all we've got for today. So do remember to like and subscribe, and see you next week.